guys, it's Autumn Rain with Beyond the Record, and today I have three-time Juno Award-winning artist Savannah Ré here with me today. How are you doing today, Savannah?
I'm well. I'm well. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, absolutely. So I want to get started. Where are you from, and how did you get your start in music?
Yeah, so I am from Toronto, Canada, and I got my start in music, the whole cliche way. I've been making music since I was a baby. And kind of from there, I took a super, super interest in it in high school. And not too long after that, I kind of just started releasing my own music.
Mhm.
And then I was eventually found by, the incredible super producer Boy Wonder. And he signed me to my first deal and, like developed me and did all of that. And now I am fully independent and kind of just getting started, really.
Nice. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about you. Actually, since we're on that topic too, about you signing to Boy Wonder, like he's your mentor as well. So, what is one of the first things that he's helped you really like in this industry?
Yeah, first of all, he's just like, I don't know if he knows that he's as famous as he is. Like, he's literally, his level of humility was actually shocking to me. Like,
Mhm.
everybody's like, oh, they were so humble. No, like, he really is like the epitome of like, just like the most, I don't know, like I don't even know what the word is. It's shocking because I know he knows how incredible he is, but
Mhm.
he just makes you feel so at home as soon as you meet him.
I love
So
that.
for me, I think one of the first things he instilled is that, like remain humble, but also to be yourself. Like
Mhm.
one of the things he'll tell you, it's like your you is your superpower. Like he doesn't try to produce as anyone else. He does it the way that he does it.
Mhm.
So, me being new and coming into the industry, I'm like, okay, do I have to be like this person? Do I have to be? And he's like, no, you be you. Your superpower is that. And he's kind of always instilled that.
Mhm.
And then, people just think because I'm signed to him, I don't know, sometimes they think like it's easier. No, he's harder on me musically. He's like, people should be like, yo, this ain't it, and because of that, it's like when he does say something like, yo, this is incredible, that it's that. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's really just instilled humility, being yourself and being great.
Mm. I think, yeah, I think that's absolutely great advice. I think, and anywhere you are, like if you're in music or, just like everyday life advice, it's like being you is your superpower. Like no one else
Yeah.
can copy that as much as, people try to imitate other
Right.
people. Like, no, it's going to be, people are going to realize how authentic you are. So I think that's amazing advice. Amazing. I want to get into your music. Like, what are three songs that fans should listen to get to know you better as an artist of your own songs?
Love that. I'm glad you said three. Sometimes you be
Mhm.
like, what's one song? And I'm like, bruh, one song. Oh gosh. Okay, so three songs to get to know me. I'm gonna do three eras.
Okay.
So the first song that I released professionally, which is called Best Is Yet to Come.
Mm.
That song is basically an autobiography of my life until that point, and
Mm.
my journey in the industry and my outlook on life. I'd say that one. Then I'd say Solid, which is like the loveliest of loveliest songs. But again, from my perspective, and what I see as being one of the pinnacles of like really being in love with someone, it's loyalty.
Mhm.
So Solid, I'm really just like, is you down? Can I count on you?
Mhm.
And that's definitely got a lot of my perspective on, relationships and my relationship right now. And then the last one I would say is Nine Lives. Nine Lives. If y'all want to see that little evolution and see where I'm at now and, learn, listen a little bit about my story, it would be Nine Lives.
Yeah, that's such a good track. I really love Solid as well. I'm happy that you said that was one of your songs for fans to get to know you better. Definitely one of my
Yeah.
favorites, personal favorites of
Well,
yours.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course, of course. I want to get into your accolades as well because I introduced you as a three-time Juno Award-winning artist, and you've also been nominated 5 times as well. So, how does it feel to be honored in this way, and what do those awards mean to you?
Yeah, honestly, you know what? I think coming into this game, I tried not to put too much on like awards and all these things. But I will say, being from here and, that being the pinnacle of the awards that you can get here, being able to even have, be seen by them or acknowledged was already enough for me. Getting the nomination, I was like, okay, cool. I done did it. So then to
Yeah.
go on to win was just like, yeah, I don't know. I still kind of think about it and I'm like, this is crazy. Each time I went back, each year I went back and won again. I was like, is there a glitch? Like, are y'all sure? But no, it's amazing and it's very affirming. It's affirming um that what I'm doing is affecting something somewhere.
Yeah.
And the first award that I won, I was also the only person nominated for both of the R&B awards, like ever, in the 50 years of the Junos.
Wow.
So stuff like that to me is like, that's not just for me. That's for every single Black and brown woman that comes after me, to see that that's something that we can do as well. So, I'm honored and, it always feels bigger than me. And I just try to remember, like, while the awards are incredible, it's also just about making people feel something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I definitely get that vibe and all those feelings when I listen to your music. So I can see like how we go back to Boy Wonder coming for you and like giving you that advice about being you and being authentic. Like you can definitely hear that in your music. And that's why you won, girl. That's why you won. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
absolutely. And just to gas you up a little bit more, you had Drake sample your song Sex with My
Yes,
Ex.
guess me up, girl.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. So, Drake sampled you. Your sampled your song "Sex with My Ex" on 100 gigs, which is a website he put together. How would you feel in that moment of him sampling you?
Honestly, it was crazy. We were literally in here, we're in my studio,
Oh
in
wow.
my husband and I's studio, and we were making music. I don't know what part. We were like maybe halfway through my project.
Hmm.
And then boom, this 100 gigs thing drops. So everybody's like going crazy. They talking about that. So we're like, oh, okay, let's take a break from the session and go open this thing. Cause what is this? It's full, it's filed. What is it? So we go and look. We're
Hmm.
clicking through stuff and then we see a Boy Wonder folder. So we're like, oh, that's fire. We start to click. Literally, the second video is me. So
Wow.
I was like, both because my husband, Yogi, the producer, he's the one who sampled the song. He cut up the sample of me. So we both in that moment were like, what is this? What does this mean? What? And then click down another video, it's me again. Click down another video, it's me again. And they're just like, they're different iterations of them working on this sample.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time we got to like the fifth video, then there was the video of Drake listening to the sample and saying like, yeah, this is fire. Da, 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 da. So we were like, yo, this is crazy, And I believe it was from his lover, what is it called?
Certified
The Heart
Lover.
era?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, is
certified
that one
lover.
word?
That,
Yeah.
yeah, that era. But it was just, once again, it's one of those things that's very affirming because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you wonder, to me, Drake that's as high as you can get in
Mm-hmm.
our city. You know what I'm saying? And everything he's done and,
Yeah.
him and Wanda having the relationship that they've had. It's like, to me, that's like, okay, you know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
We're, baby steps, but you know who I am. So it was
Yeah.
just, it's cool. It was cool. And, one thing that a lot of people say about Drake is the things that he records on, like, they're always going to have a place. Like, he doesn't throw away records. So I'm still like this, that record's about to come out.
Yes.
But it was crazy because I actually recorded, so Sex with My Ex was a freestyle, and I recorded it in 2018 or 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it didn't make it on my first project because I just didn't think it fit the theme.
Mhm.
And then we cut it up again, um, 2 summers ago, last summer, and that was when me and Leon, myself and Leon, and Yogi, the producer, went in, and Leon and I wrote the song, and Yogi and him produced the song. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to put this on my next project. And then, fast forward a year later, the sample stuff comes out. So it was just very like sort of serendipitous, because otherwise that song would have prior to that, it was just collecting dust on, on the hard drive.
Yeah.
And then all these things sort of happened in succession. So it's like, I was like, I wonder, like, I don't know how the timing could have been any better, because no one would have known I was going to put it on my project. Like, how did that happen? So yeah, that's why we were able to, like, right after it happened, basically within the month, we were able to drop the song, because the song was done, ready, and waiting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a single in my head, but once that happened, we were able to be like, okay, let's just drop this real fast off the heels of this. So yeah.
But that makes sense though, because it's just like perfect timing. I feel like he was, meant to see that song and for you to drop it later on. So I don't know, it just makes sense. I think, and I hope to hear you. Like, I just heard that Drake might be releasing a solo project,
Yeah,
shortly.
I heard him say
so we never know.
You never know.
Yes, exactly. I want to talk a little bit about your songwriting as well, because you have like writing credits for Normani and Jessie Reyez, who both I love as artists as well. So, how did those opportunities come about, and what tracks are you credited on?
Yeah, so with Jessie, incredible. That's my sis. She took me on my first tour ever. It was like 30 dates, and little old me, I didn't even have 30 minutes of music yet. So that, like, I'll always forever love her for that. We, both myself and my husband, are credited on La Memoria.
Ooh, okay.
On her When Love Came to Kill Us album. And it's basically a song of vocals. So all of the background vocals are me.
Ooh.
So it's really cool, like all harmonies, all the stacks and all that stuff. And it came about real crazy, because she reached out, she was like, Sav, I need your vocals on this song. Like, I need y'all to take this song from this to where it needs to go. And she gave us the opportunity, and we did just that,
Mm-hmm.
And then with Normani, so funny thing, the funny story about Normani is I met her so like organically and chill. I met her years prior. We did one session together, but then she was doing a camp in Toronto. Camp is when you bring together like a bunch of amazing creatives who like you feel like can help get your sound down, and like you guys just work on the music for like, let's say, a week. So that's why they call it a camp, because you're going in every day. And another incredible super producer from Toronto, T Minus, he brought me in. So he was like, look, like I'm going in with Armani. Like, I think that you would have like the right, your writing style, your whatever to come in. Da, da, da. And I was like, are you sure? Like, she doesn't know me. I'm not a big writer. Like, no one knows me. And he was like, no, come do this. And we went in. I think the camp was like 4 days. And then she was headed to Miami. So I was like, we had a great time. We vibed immediately. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, hopefully any of these songs land. And then by the end of the day, her management reached out to me and were like, she wants you to come with her. So she went to Miami. Like, literally, I don't even think I had a passport at the time. Like, I was like, ooh. So basically, after we met, we just locked in for the rest of that year. And then the world shut down, because it was literally immediately before COVID. Like, we were right, I got one of the last flights from the US back to Canada before the airports shut down.
Really?
Yeah. It was crazy. So,
oh my God.
She kind of had a lot go on. She switched teams, management, and all these things. So unfortunately, none of our records came out. But yeah, like still to this day, we're still super, super, super cool. And I'm hoping, obviously, in future we can work some more,
Yes. No, definitely. I think Normani is just amazingly talented.
Incredible.
Right. And even her last album, like her debut album, so good. So
yeah, I agree.
good. And I don't think it gets the credit it deserves, honestly, because
I agree. I think people try to like discredit her a lot, you know? And, you know, it speaks to, you know, a lot of the traumas that she had to face from even when she was in the group. So
Yes.
it's now like, I don't know. I think obviously people need to give her a lot more grace. Like it's very difficult to navigate in this ecosystem, unfortunately, for anyone, especially, you know, a young Black woman. So,
Yeah.
you know, she's been through a lot. She's been through a lot. I like all I do is, you know, send love and blessings to her and her family. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it looks like everybody's healthy now, but
Mm-hmm.
that stuff comes first. And I think people don't give grace to that, especially, you know, she has
Yeah.
so many different things happen even within her family life. And
Uh-huh.
then people are like, where's the album? And it's like, sometimes that don't matter right now, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but I'm glad it came out. It was fire. And obviously I'm sure she's cooking so much more, you know?
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, I need more music from her, but at her own time. I think it just comes to a point where fans forget that artists are actual people. They're not like AI, they're not
You know?
robots, they're not like
No, it does not work like that. Unfortunately, I wish I could just, you know, but when there's other things going on, be it, you know, bad things, and also just sometimes good things. You know, my girl just got engaged. Let her have some time and some fun.
yes, exactly. And she will. She will. She's young and she has so
Oh
much
yeah.
time ahead of her. And
Yep.
she already has a name for herself, like through the group, but also as a solo artist. I think all of her records that she's
Absolutely.
put out have been amazing. So she
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
all right.
100%. Just getting started. 100%.
Yes. So you just dropped Form, which just came out today. So can you tell me a little bit about the process behind coming up with the title?
Yeah, yeah. So honestly, Formed was initially supposed to be a second half to my
Mm,
last full length project, which was No Weapons.
mm,
And, you know, it was like to finish the scripture, like no weapons formed. You know, obviously there's a whole other end, but that is the statement of the scripture.
mhm,
So it's supposed to be part one, part two. And part two was just going to sort of wrap up kind of what I started in No Weapons. Because No Weapons is actually an unfinished project.
mm,
But so much changed between No Weapons to, you know, when I was planning to drop Form, the second half, which would have been months later, you know, I
mhm,
became independent. You know, all so many life changes, so much happened. And, you know, as serendipitous as it sounds, like Formed kind of grew into its own project
mhm,
and like formed its own message. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my time with this one versus just, you know, putting it up as a part two. This now has its own story to tell. And
mhm.
that's kind of how it came about.
Oh, no, I love that. And I also love that you were, I mean, I know it didn't work out, but like you have the part one and the part two, but I
Yeah.
still think that this project by itself like speaks to like the purpose of you creating this project. Like I was just talking to you about how
Thank you.
this, yeah, of course, absolutely. Like this project is really for the girls. Like, and
It's for the girls, honey. Like, I mean, like I said, I like when men like my music too,
Mhm.
but it's for the girls. You know, like
Right.
I feel like in my projects prior, I've definitely talked about like my journey. I always try to be as honest and as open as possible. But I
Mhm.
think this is the most forward I've been and the most like for us I've been. So
Yeah.
it definitely is that.
And it's so, so fun. Like, I want to start off by talking about bodies. I think that what really drew me to this one is like, yeah, it's a fun song, but also that beat switch. Can we talk about that? So, like,
Period. Yeah, you know what? I've always just wanted one of those songs, like the songs where it just switches, and it's like usually a lot of rappers.
yes.
So I'm like, but there's no rules. Why can't I do that?
Yeah,
You know, so it
exactly.
was two completely separate songs. And then I was like, okay, but the message is kind of the same,
Mm-hmm.
but one is more calm and inviting, and the other one is like, wow, like I'm here now. So to me, like sonically, when I decided to put them together, I was like, this is the intro. Like this is to me, the start to kind of prime you for what you about to hear throughout this project. You
Mhm.
know? So they made sense together to me.
Yeah. I think so too. And I like that you mentioned like a lot of rappers do that beat switch. And I think it's always so cool. Like we were just talking about, Drake and stuff. Like he
Yeah.
does that a lot too. And I think that hearing that in R&B is amazing because you don't hear that. And girl, that's why I love that song. It's so
Thank you. I'm
good.
so glad. I'm like, I'm hoping people will get it and not just be like, what is this girl talking about? But
Yeah.
it's just, it really is just my reality, Like
Mhm.
the second half of Bodies was a freestyle. Most of Bodies is a freestyle. Like a lot of my music starts from that free state, which is like it's really what I'm going through at the time, or it's what I'm channeling from someone else. So it's like that's some real stuff.
Yeah. And like I said before, it's just like you can hear that honesty in your music too. And even with a song, like, like Bodies, even like I'm gonna talk about Go Ahead Next. Like that's such a fun summer
You
album.
know that.
Album came out at the right time. This project, so I don't even have to know. Like, but what was your inspiration behind like creating Go Ahead? Like, how did that process just come about?
Yeah, so I wrote that song during COVID actually.
Oh,
So
wow.
a hot minute ago, like top of COVID, I think it was like 2019.
Uh-huh.
And so what is that? That's almost 7 years. Crazy.
Wow.
But we wrote it. I was in there with my girls, Tally, who's an incredible writer, Mandy, incredible writer, Ashley Turner as well, and then my husband Yogi, the producer. And we was in
Mhm.
there. We were like, you know what? It's a bunch of girls. Like, we should just write something fun. Like, we should write something for the girls. We
Yes.
drinking, we vibing. And then, Yogi's flipping through samples and what have you. And then he played this like country one. And I was like, babe, why did he play? Like, you're not gonna be able to do nothing with that. Like, can you just? And he was like, stay bet. He was like, stay bet right now. I can't make this a beat. I was like, bet. 30 minutes later, they just slap and slap. Like I was like, no, like there's no way I would have been able to hear that like country thing the
Mhm.
way it got brought. So, we made the song, and then we brought it to Wanda as well because we're like, we need that certain slap. We need that
Mhm.
slap that just only Wanda has. And we
Yeah.
brought it to him. He did what he does. And we were just like, okay, where do we go from here? And initially when I wrote it, I was like, yeah, it's a girl song, but maybe not for me. Like, I don't know if I can sing a song like this, because I'm like, it's so like rhythmic. I don't know. It's weird. It's like the boxes we put ourselves in because nobody
Yeah.
told me I can't sing this song. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I've always done slower, slow R&B. No,
Mhm.
maybe they wouldn't want me to hear it. They wouldn't want to hear me like this.
Uh-huh.
So
True,
we sent it
girl.
out to a couple of artists. And we sent it to Chris Brown's team. They had it
Mhm.
for a while. And then when it didn't get on our album, I don't know, I was with some of my friends, non-music friends,
Mhm.
and we're just playing through some demos. And we played the demo, and they were like, "Stop the song right now! You, ha- you have to put this out." And I was like, "Huh? Like, what do you mean?" And
Mhm.
they're like, "No, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, this is it. This is it. You have to put it out." And I was like, "Really?" Like they're not the first people to say it, but they can be fully objective in the fact that they're not musicians. So this is
Mhm.
like this is almost like a census of sorts because y'all just they love R&B, they love consuming music, but they don't make music. So it's like,
Mhm.
this is really how you feel? And they were
Yeah.
like, yes, you have to do it. And it was because of them. So shout out to Jess and Stace because I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna try it. And then I went and really cut the record and we were like, yeah, this is it. This is going on the project.
Yes, thank you, Jess and Stacy, because we need
Right?
this. We needed this. I'm telling you, this is a
Yeah.
perfect song, like going into the summer. Like we needed this. And I get what you're saying too. I always ask a lot. Well, I have like friends that are in the industry and then friends that, obviously outside the industry. And then just getting their perspectives and like their opinions on certain things is just like it is helpful. Like people sometimes might not think that, but I think that it's wise that you even went to your girls that aren't in the industry because they can give you
Yeah.
non-biased, like
Exactly.
opinion on something. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very important because, when we're in it or when you're two in it, it's hard to be objective.
Yeah.
So I always need that. I'll always go to my girls.
Exactly. So I want to talk about Made It Out next. I think it's such like an inspirational track and it's just a feel good track. So what was the process in making that one?
Yeah, so it was written by myself and Marcus Samaj, who's incredible. Snow Allegra, that the going viral then Your Eyes. He wrote that with her. Giveon, Like I Want You. Like he's an incredible writer, and a very very dope artist himself.
Mhm.
So yeah, I basically was like every time I go into a project, I'm like I need that song that pulls emotions out of me, or it isn't done.
Yeah.
I was the same way with Opia. I was like, I had, the 9 other songs, and I was like, it's not done, it's not done, it's not done. Until, same person, myself, Marcus Samaj, and Varen went in and wrote Opia, the song. And I was like, that's what I need. I need that moment where something, it almost makes me uncomfortable. Because how can I call something, introspective or call it Opia or formed, saying I'm here and I'm formed, and I don't have a song that's like really going there or really digging there,
Mm-hmm.
So he sent me like a demo, like a rough demo of the record. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like immediately I was like, did you write this about me? Like the parts that he wrote, because honestly, it's my story.
Mm-hmm.
It's my story.
Yeah.
So I was like, the fact that, you can start a song or you can write a song and send it to me almost complete, but I'm in this song, like I'm in the song. It's about me. I was like, I'm sure so many Black women, Black people are going to hear themselves in this song.
Yes.
So I was like, I need it. I need it. I need it. I was like, can I have it? And he was like, of course you can have it. And then I just, added my little 1, 2 and cut the record. And I was like, this is it. This is it. This is the closer to me,
I absolutely like. I think that's why I wanted to call out that song because I saw myself in that song. I know my
So
friends when they
glad.
check out the EP, they're going to see themselves in this song. It's just vulnerable, it's relatable, and inspirational. It's just all the things. And I think that you can go back through, like, you can, whatever mood you're in, you can listen to this EP and just like pick out, what you need. But also, it's great as a cohesive project, like from top to bottom. Like you can listen to it throughout, and it makes sense. Because as I remember, like Beyonce is one of my favorite artists, and I remember a long time ago her documentary, and she's saying like people don't make albums anymore.
They don't make albums anymore. Yes, yes, it's so real. And there's some psychopaths. Yes, I'm calling y'all psychopaths who listen to projects on shuffle. Oh my goodness. If you knew how long I've taken months to sequence this project, and then you just gonna hit worst nightmare. Worst nightmare. But she's so right. People don't listen to albums anymore. And they barely make albums anymore. So now I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm still, even though there's gonna be some crazy person who's gonna listen to this on shuffle, I'm still gonna put a lot of time and effort into sequencing this project, so that it feels cohesive, that it feels like a story. So it feels like the ebbs and flows of like life,
Yes, absolutely. And I love when you call them crazy because that is what it is. I just don't understand.
I was like, you do what? I saw, and then some people, I saw on Twitter, and the people were like, yeah, me too. I'm like, no. No, huh?
Sense. Especially the first time you're listening to it. Like I get it, like maybe
later, maybe. Once you pick out the songs, you're like, yeah, you don't have to listen to an album in its entirety, but to shuffle it at first, how does that even no, absolutely not. Nope.
So listen to Formed, guys, top to bottom first,
Top to bottom, please. At least once. Just once.
Yes. Okay. So while we're talking about the different songs on your project, I want to get into our hot topic and about Nine Lives, which, is one
Yes.
of my favorites on there. And I'm a single you released as well. So in that song, you talk about, living different lives and how it made
Yeah.
you the woman you are today. So if you had to go back to one of your past lives, where would you go to and why?
Such a great question.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I wouldn't go back nowhere
Okay.
because it has been ghetto. All the lives before this one have been the ghetto. Ooh Lord. Ooh Lord. Honestly, but if I
Yes.
had to, in all honesty, I would go back to, right before um everything sort of started, like right before I'm signed, right before, and just, give myself the confidence and just keep, breathing life into myself at that point because it was such a hard time.
Yeah.
And stepping out on faith, which is what I did, almost didn't happen. You have those things in the back of your head, like, no, you
Mhm.
can't quit this job. No, you can't. Like no, you need the biweekly pay. You need all these things. You need benefits.
Yes.
And, I always, anytime I tell my story, I tell people, don't ever do what I did. Don't ever do what I, at least quit when you have a savings. Okay. Because
Mhm.
I just up and one day did not go back to work and it worked out by the grace of God. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'd go back to that moment, I think, and just be like, you've got this, you can do this,
Mhm.
and don't second guess it because
Yeah.
who knows? We never know, what could have happened if I essentially said, no, I'm not going to take that jump and I'm not going to take that risk. I have no idea where I'd be right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. If I had to, I would pick that time period too, probably like going into high school. Like, not going to high
Mm,
school, leaving high school and just be like, "Nah, stay firm on your decision." This is what
mm,
you chose. You have a gut feeling,
yep.
to go into journalism. Just, I know it might not be the easiest path, but just keep going. You're gonna be able to do things you never thought you would be able to do. So,
Period.
yeah, I think I would definitely pick that time period too. I think that middle point where you said it gets ghetto, that part is I can't go back.
No, thank you. Nope, we're always gonna skip that life. Okay, what was that number six? Life number six. No, thank you. Nope.
No, because that was a very ghetto part of life, and I think
Mm-mm.
it's a lot of learning experiences for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, the beforehand when everything's like nice, soft, I can do that. I can do
we'll
that.
take that.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like that's the thing with nine lives. The whole point is that all of these lives were necessary to get me to where I'm at, to get us to where we're at. So even those parts that are ghetto
Yeah.
are not so cute. All the heartbreaks would have led me to my husband. All of the
Yeah.
letdowns would have led me to, how sure I am in myself now. So it's
Yeah.
like, ooh, I don't want to go back, but I'm thankful for all of those things. We got to be thankful for all those things.
Absolutely. Because I feel the same way. I think it just teaches you how to bounce back. I think that is
Yeah.
one of my favorite traits. I think a bunch of, especially Black women, have it is to be able to adapt. I think when you can adapt, you can get through anything. And whether
That's
that's
it.
like a new place, new job, like new man, whatever the thing is,
Yep.
like you can adapt to this new circumstance well. And I think that once you're able to really be also honest with yourself, vulnerable with yourself,
Yep.
get you to that place, you can make it. You can do it.
Yeah.
You need those
That's it.
downtimes.
I don't know if you remember that like crazy meme, and it was like, I'm the brother comes in and has, I think he has like a fake gun or something for the sister, and she
Mhm.
gets scared first, and then she's like, I'm a bad bitch, you can't kill me. That's literally
Yes.
the whole, like, we were gonna put that meme on the song, but then obviously, legal implications and stuff. But that's
Mhm.
literally, it sums it all up. Like,
Mhm.
it would take a lot to get me out of here,
Yes.
because of everything that I've been through. So
Yes.
these things, these jabs, the everyday, things that we go through, I'm built. We're built for it at the end of the day. So yeah, that's the takeaway from Nine Lives, I say.
Yep. So you guys stream that one too and listen to it in order, please. Thank
Please. Please.
So I want to know, obviously, like I said, I really loved this project and I would love, love, love to hear it live. So do you have any kind of plans to have any performances in the future so fans can come meet you and listen to this live?
Yeah, so I mean, we working on a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to tour real, real, real soon. I have a show in LA coming up in June.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, just confirming, but we should have the details ASAP if they aren't up already.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I want to tour. I be getting threatening messages daily. Like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm like, I know, I'm indie now, touring is expensive. But outside of that, I just want to bring the best show possible.
Yes.
So, the goal is absolutely to get on the road this year.
Yay. I can't wait. And where can fans follow you to keep up with what's next that you have for us?
Yeah. So it's just at Savannah Ré everywhere. That's SAVANNAHRE accent aigu. But obviously, for the purposes of socials, there's no accent. So just RE.
Mhm.
On Instagram, TikTok, Twitter with X. It's Savannah Ré Music now. Savannah Ré Music now. Yeah, YouTube, same thing, Savannah Ré. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking with me. It was amazing.
Of course. Thank you so, so, so much.
Thank you.